have a homeless boyfriend. He's a veteran. And it turns out to be really convenient because after a date, hell, I can just drop him off anywhere. We like watching TV in his front living room, which is, of course, the public sidewalk. He says to me, hey, why don't we run out and get something to eat? I said, oh, okay. Where do you think? He goes, well, what about McDonald's? I went, oof, okay. So we get over to McDonald's. He walks right over the dumpster to get our meal. Then he says to me, why don't we walk through the drive-thru and get some condiments? I said, what? Walk through the drive-thru? So we did that. Then I take him back to my house. He goes, you have a house? I said, well, yeah, the cleaning lady's working on it right now. The gardener's mowing the lawn, but, you know, you can come over for a while. He says, God, I want to move in with you. I said, well, you're going to have to get that 6 weeks attitude, like a Christmas tree. 6 weeks from now, your ass is back out on the street. How do you think about that? That works for me.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Voice of the Veteran Show. I'm Gayle Ochiltree, Army Airborne veteran, along with co-host Nicholas Courmare III, Air Force Traffic Control, and MC Franklin in the back. You are back there, right, Franco?
Hi there.
Oh, there he is. Okay, good. This show.
I remember that night, Gayle. That was a good show.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I love being there. I remember your fellow comedians at the comedy clubs. They always say that when you get on stage, you deliver, which I absolutely agree with. And every set is like going to be your last performance. And it's always dope, Gayle. I watched you do 3 shows one night at 3 different locations.
Oh, man, those were the days. I'm telling you, 3 shows at one night in Hollywood.
And no hecklers. No hecklers ever. Mm-hmm. They didn't dare. They don't dare.
No, well, think about it. Who's going to heckle me? They're going to heckle the airborne paratrooper, or are they going to heckle the grandmother of 8? I mean, seriously?
You do have a lot of power to bury a drunk audience the way you do. That high energy audience is exhausted by the time you get finished with them.
Oh, well, that's true. And I love jumping on stage and grabbing that microphone and just going for it. Just,
well, you're good at it. You're good at it.
Oh, well, thank you. That's really nice of you. I appreciate it.
And now we're doing comedy about VA experience, just like on stage.
That's true. We found a way to do it. It's a good thing. Hey, I want to say one thing real quick. Last week we were talking to our moms, and I didn't think about it that we should have included MC Franklin's mom. So I want to say hi to her. Say hi to her, Nicholas, and we'll wave to Franco's mom. And
thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Well, and all that stuff.
Yeah, so she does watch the show, so she will appreciate that.
Oh, that's nice. I appreciate that. I want all our moms watching it,
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much, so did I forget to say that the Voice of the Veteran's the #1 show for firsthand veteran information in the nation and the entire numero uno? That's right, for veteran experience. And I've been a veteran patient at many different VAs across the country. When you're traveling around, you go to the doctor or you're at a convention or something, you can, like, I suppose Kaiser has, places all over too, but the VA does. And I've been a veteran a patient at VA West Los Angeles specifically, because that's where we are. We're in LA here. For the last 30 years. So I have a whole lot of VA firsthand experience to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Gayle, you mentioned getting...
I wanted to mention one more thing real quick before you go on. Let me just tell you this one thing. I wanted to mention what I found out about the national vaccine plan. Now, we talked about the vaccine plan last week.
Yes.
But, I found out that Amazon is helping out because they are training all their drivers to give COVID vaccinations. They just figured out that, people, they have a Prime account or whatever, they can just now order up a vaccine and that driver will come to the door. You just stick your shoulder out there and you get your shot real quick. I mean, everybody be vaccinated by Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you get UPS in on it, the post office and the FedEx people, they'll be shooting everybody in the arm. It's a great thing. So, I just wanted to mention that. So if you have a Prime account, you can now order a vaccine. You can order, actually, you can click on whichever one. You can click on Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and pretty soon the Johnson & Johnson single shot's going to be coming online. So what do you think about them apples, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just wondering, can I use my EBT card? Get my vaccine?
I think that's a great idea too.
They do accept it over there at Amazon.
PayPal and Venmo and every other thing too to cover this silliness. But anyway, let's get back to the script.
Oh yeah, exactly. Excuse me, Gayle. You mentioned getting apologies from viewers. Something about they missed the show on Sunday, but they'll watch next week. Well, let me remind our viewers that you can watch the Voice of the Veteran show live on Sunday at 1300. That's 1:00 p.m. for civilians, but it is
California PST time.
PST, Pacific Standard Time, for the Marines. But it's also recorded and viewers can watch it anytime.
That's right. And you also might want to mention the library.
Yes, that's right.
On.
We're creating a library of all the info, links for the show. And what that means, viewers can reference them. And you can also subscribe for notifications to remind you of the show by clicking on the little bell. We mentioned that last week also.
Click on that little bell and we'll remind you again, because we're just learning how all this stuff works as well, trying to develop all this. But, Nicholas, weird stuff happens at the VA hospitals all the time. It's very different from Kaiser or anywhere else because veterans, seriously. So I was at the hospital one day, and this was way before your time. But let me tell you, a veteran brought a grenade into the VA West LA ER. Now, this is for real. This really actually happened. I know it's funny now. I mean, it's funny looking back on it that day, many years ago. It was also awful at the time because all the patients and all the VA personnel had to be evacuated. I mean, they had sandbags in there. It was serious.
What? Serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where were you at the time?
I was down in the basement getting dental work done, and that all had to be rescheduled for like 2 months later. And I wasn't happy. And thousands of people were cheated out of their medical care and totally because of some nut crazy veteran. You know how they are. And so if you're planning to do something stupid, think of your fellow veterans and, your buddies and, not hurting them with your actions, because that's a big place. There are like 4,000 to 5,000 employees. Now that changes all the time, but, that's a lot of employees, let alone all the veterans that are there seeing these various doctors and things. So, think before you do dumb things.
Yes, as a veteran, I feel it. I mean, sometimes it feels like it's all about me, and then I forget why I went in, and why I went in was because it's not all about me. Gayle, I was thinking, so you have a note here for me to talk about gambling. What does that have to do with the show today? And I guess let's talk about veterans and gambling.
Okay, thank you very much. What a wonderful setup that is. But there's this thing, and it's called the Bingo Daily Doozy. Okay, and a viewer asked me to mention all this stuff about Bingo Daily Doozy and the Bingo All-Stars because bored veterans are spending a lot of money on crazy amounts of money on gambling sites. So I went to this site And it was amazing because they had a tab called Game Care.
Game care.
Uh-huh.
Dare I even ask what game care is? Is it a joke or the real thing?
No, I thought it was a joke, but it appears to be a real thing for overcoming gambling. Now, gambling issues, now you can actually talk to someone about responsible gambling, okay? Now, Nicholas, after I read about Game Care, I thought, there should really be an office in every bar where people can go talk to a psychologist about why they're drinking so much. Don't you think?
You mean like the law? Well,
Yeah.
look, I suppose it seems like it might lower the bar sales, Gail. But at least everyone would get home safely.
Yeah, well, who knows? See, I mean, like right there in the corner next to the fireplace, you could have like a meditation area and some kind of, spirit mountain resiliency thing, anger management, maybe. You could order up a Jack and Coke and have a side of psychology right there. I mean, seriously, you could get your mind right. There wouldn't be any of those, last call bar fights going on and all that kind of stuff. As if any credible psychologist is even going to counsel anybody with a drink in their hand. But I mean, it's a funny thought,
Seriously, you know what? Your comedy makes so much actual sense, which is why I love going watch you. Psychologist in a bar, an amazing thought. Doctor, what's your specialty? Bar psychology. It's a great idea to give people other options. Now, I know you don't drink, Gail.
No, hard stop on that. Nope, that's right. I mean, too much sugar, too many calories, doesn't fit into my nutritional plan. Got to balance those carbs, fats, and proteins. So, no.
That's right. Well, maybe at a special dinner or a wedding toast, you'd have a sip, right? I mean, but I do know that you always hated the forced drinking policy at comedy clubs. And if I recall, the ticket money would go to the comedians and the drink bar money went to the house, to the club. Yeah. The audience was required to buy 2 drinks during the show, right?
Yeah, but not on this show. This is any drink minimum, you can drink whatever you want because you're not going out on the street. So who even cares, So I just wanted to tell jokes. And quite often I felt kind of bad because, I'm pushing, did you get your drinks tonight? There's a 2 drink minimum and reminding them about that stuff. And then putting all those people out on the LA streets. I mean, that's for the birds. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember because you always mention that to me. And obviously I leave zooted on Red Bull every time I see you. But yeah, Gail, do you have a suggestion, an alternative to that bird-brained mentality?
I do. Absolutely. So MC, set up those pictures that I emailed you, and we'll just kind of go through them while I'm talking. Now, veterans, instead of gambling and drinking and whoring around, well, you can do all the whoring around you want to. I mean, just don't spend so much money that you can't buy food. That's the point. And so put up one of those pictures, MC. Here's my suggestion, and let's look at these pictures. Now, I joined the San Francisco Audubon Society. And I know that sounds kind of like ridiculous, but we went to the Mulvaney Park. You can go ahead and go to the next one. And I want to say thank you to my friends, Richard and Marianne Davis, for the information about the Audubon Society, because they are experts in this birding stuff. They have all kinds of words like birdability. Here's a picture of a woman who is, I can't remember her name right now, but this is the group when we were up there looking at some birds over the fence there, and they point out these various birds and we listen to their sounds. These people spot these birds by their tweets. Not tweets, but I mean, that's not like Twitter, but I mean, tweet. They go, oh, that's a flying spotted something or other, and I'm going, wow, I can't believe these people. Go ahead in the next picture.
You love, Gail, you love buying survival gear. I can see something looks like survival gear.
Oh, I do. I do. I can't help myself. Go ahead and click through those anytime you want to, MC. It's fine because I do like going and doing this hiking because I'm doing things like that veterans love to do, like navigation, map reading, hiking and casual walks and being outdoors in a COVID safe environment. That's what, I enjoy. And also, you said that about buying survival gear. Well, you are correct, my friend. I spent money on some really cool binoculars.
Yeah.
I need to tell you, I bought some 8x42 daytime binoculars. I bought night vision and a monocular and a telescope. Like it looked like, oh, I wanted to say something about this tree while it's up there. Now I looked at this and the people on the hike told me, you see those horizontal lines around the tree? I thought that was just normal bark. The birds do that.
Ah.
Yeah. See, and that's the kind of stuff I learned. That's just absolutely fascinating. So when you go by, you can see, oh, that's actually, it was a sapsucker that does that. By the way, I remember that. Thank God. Yeah, they peck in there and they peck along and they suck the sap out of the tree, a sapsucker. And so they, but they do it in such an organized manner. It's fascinating. Yeah. So they gave me they told me about the Merlin app and Cornell University and ornithology. And I'm telling you, it's really cool. So that's cool. I'm finished talking about that. Thank you, Franco. That was perfect. So,
so I noticed the binoculars. What's that? That's legal spying, Gayle?
Yeah. So basically, it makes spying on my neighbors much easier. And when they catch me, I simply say, I was just looking at the birds in your trees. You see how that works. So
legal spying.
That's right. Legal spying. And I want to tell you something cool. I watched an entire gin rummy game one night from across the street. It was very calming. It was much better than the news. And I was over there yelling, grab that 8 of hearts, for the love of God, get that 8 of hearts, And, of course, I'm over in my house watching them. So
you seem calm all day. Have you been Zooming with the Spirit Mountain Retreat friends again?
Oh, yes, I have. I do that every chance I get. And I put that up in the chat box. So
that's nice. It's up there in Idlewild, California, right, Gayle?
Yeah, I haven't actually been up there yet because all my meetings have been Zooms. But
I'm gonna have to look them up. I see the link in the chat. www.spiritmountainretreat.org.
That's right. So I got a note here from Crystal again. This is donut stuff, but so. Oh, I got something to tell you. I'm exhausted because of donuts. And here's how that goes. There's the donuts. Okay, we got the donuts in there every week. That's our donut graphic. But I want to say last night, I got a card here. I wrote it down special so that I could tell you about it. Last night, between 2 and 3 o'clock, 11 cars on Burbank Boulevard near my house started spinning donuts out in the street with their cars. It went on for 30 minutes. So I grabbed my binoculars, of course, and I go out there, got my night vision on and whatever, and I'm watching them down there about 6 houses down doing these donuts. And I'm thinking, where are the police? And I mean, it was, I hate to report this, but it was a bunch of crazy white people. I mean,
well, I'm glad you called the police then.
You bet I did. And the helicopters came out and everything else. I was hoping they'd haul them off. I mean, the smell of rubber was intense. It filled up and smoked the whole neighborhood out and everything else. And the helicopters came. I mean, that's my donut comment, but holy crap. I mean, I've never seen it. Have you seen 11 cars do that? One after the other, endlessly for half an hour?
Gayle, I am tucked in by 9:30 p.m. with my electric blanket. I do not.
You are. I mean, seriously, I thought, oh, I'm not going to even be able to do the show. I'm going to be so exhausted. I mean, I'm going to have dark circles under my eyes and everything else, you know. But anyway, so I had a note here from Crystal, you know, who lives in Texas. You know, she's a veteran. I think she got out like 6 months ago or something. And she told me she ate 7 donuts, you know, and when a friend was visiting. And so I started thinking that Crystal's got to be like a, you know, really big girl. Oh, there you go. There's your donuts right there.
I got donuts, Crystal.
So, you know, so anyway, I really want to be respectful, you know, and here we are talking about stuffing our faces with donuts, and our subject is food insecurity. But donuts aren't part of a healthy eating plan, you know what I mean? So we're joking about the donuts, but we want to sincerely talk about food insecurity. So why don't you just take it from there, Nicholas, and start in on subject 1, food insecurity.
Absolutely, Gayle. It's a pleasure to address food insecurity. That's right. Subject number 1 on the show today is not knowing where your next meal is coming from, or if you'll have to skip meals and go hungry. So let's chat a bit about food insecurity. Everybody has insecurity these days. Vaccine insecurity, housing insecurity. But today, we're talking about food insecurity.
That's right. And, you know, Nicholas, as writers, we're always looking for the right words to describe these various things. And a new word, a new application of a word that I already knew is precarity. And precarity is precarious, uncertain security in you know, in like the next week, or if you don't have ongoing food, it's something that you have to watch all the time. That's food precarity or precariousness, you know, being precarious in your living situation. So I wanted to mention that. But food insecurity is a lack of enough food for a healthy lifestyle. In 2018, about 11% of U.S. households were food insecure at least some of the time during the year. Food insecurity tends to be higher in households relying on social assistance, single parent homes, ethnic minorities, and people who are homeless or housing insecure as well have food insecurity.
Yes, yes. Just a quick note and a shout out. I've been food precarious before, and there was a place in Burbank that gave me a month worth of groceries from Gelson's, no less. So I just want to send a shout out that way because that meant the world to me. There's a number of food insecure veterans. It's also high among those who served in the U.S. wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. These veterans are almost twice as likely to be food insecure compared to the general population. Well, I know SNAP is used by military personnel. That's SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
That's right. And many of the lower ranking active duty military personnel in every branch of service, if they have kids and they're lower ranking personnel, they probably qualify for the SNAP program. Now, in the commissary, well, that's grocery store for the civilians. And, you know, in the commissary, they have an aisle that is just SNAP items. And that's for like baby formula, diapers, and things. And it's really nice to have a separate aisle like that, so you're not constantly checking to see what is a SNAP item as you're doing all your grocery shopping with the kids and everything. And they just have one aisle, and you can go down through and get all those things for the kids that you might need. So I've thought of this a lot, and just I mean this kind of funny and kind of not at the same time, but does this mean that the military is food insecure?
Sometimes, you know, there's both. There's active duty military and veteran food insecurity, which is, as we said before, the inability to assess sufficient food for a healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. This has been associated with many aspects of health, including weight gain, diabetes, and mental health issues. In the USA, food insecurity remains a problem. 14.5% of households were classified as food insecure in 2012. And during COVID, it is a first time issue for many people who have lost their jobs.
Oh man. I think, you know what, we're going to talk more about this. We're not going to just say this now. We just said everything about food insecurity. I think we need to discuss more ways to help people and not just say, that this is the end of that information. Also, before we bring our guests out, I also wanted to say real quickly a hello to Janice Summers, who is up in the Cambria area, and she has done a great job of helping out a veteran that doesn't even know he's getting help. And so I just want to make sure and say, thank you, Janice, for all of your hard work on the thing that we're working on together, and good job. I appreciate it. I look forward to meeting you. So our guests today have a lot of experience with food and job creation. You know that? And you want to know where I met these people?
No, Gayle. I think I may know, but please tell us. Where have you met these people? They sound incredible.
Well, I'm going to let you know that who they are right now, and I'll just go ahead and start the intro. So today on Voice of the Veteran, Subject 2, we're going to talk about employees in recovery and also more about food insecurity. And we have some very special guests today. They're a husband and wife. Stephen is a CPA, and Carolyn is an enrolled agent with IRS, and they own Ochiltree and Associates CPA firm in Fresno, California. Yes. There they are.
So, Stephen, you're Gayle's brother. If you don't want to admit it, I understand. Thank you so much for taking the time to make Voice of the Veteran a better show. I'm impressed with your knowledge and caring for people in need.
Thank you. Thanks, Nicholas. Thanks for having us on the show. We really love this show. I mean, because the humor, and it's about firsthand experience, and it's important information for veterans too.
Yeah, it is. Well, congratulations, Carolyn, for your recent test and becoming an agent to interface with the IRS. I mean, that's a great accomplishment, and I'm proud of you. Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm happy about it too.
Yeah. But before we start, I want you to be comfortable. It looks like you have the sniffles there. Would you like a Kleenex?
Yeah. Thank you, Gayle.
You're welcome. just sit back and relax. Well, that's enough to make you lose your place. I'm telling you, but it worked out. So, Stephen, I imagine that you're very proud of Carolyn's recent accomplishments, and congratulations again on a great job.
Oh, she worked really hard, and I'm so proud of her.
Oh, yeah.
I understand congratulations are in order for you too.
Is that right? What for?
Well, the ratings on your show.
Well, I must have missed something here. Nicholas?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about ratings?
Ratings? We have ratings?
Well, Carolyn?
Well, we had a family.
You, Gayle, you're the number one show.
Gayle, you do have the number one show in the nation that features firsthand veteran experience with the VA. You knew that.
Well, I know I said it a lot, but I didn't know it was official. What poll is this?
Well, it was the friends and family poll.
Oh.
Our grandmother, Helen Toner, she was one of 12 children. So that's no small number of people.
No.
In fact, one year we had 127 people at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, we did. That was amazing.
That's right. I mean, when I came in, they have a planning meeting for Thanksgiving dinner. Who does that? In October, they assign out food for the menu. They need 4 turkeys. 28 pounds of green beans, and a full salad bar, a dessert bar. It's like a smorgasbord.
Oh,
They even
God.
have a volleyball net set up
Oh,
outside.
my God, Nicholas, help me with these people. I mean, clearly this show is not about food insecurity at this point. You know what I'm saying? You guys all met years ago when I did that show at the Ha Ha Club, right? I think we got a picture of us there, MC, with a bunch of us out in the lobby or something. There I am signing autographs after the show, and oh, there we are too. There's two of your boys. You have Paul and then Stephen and Andrew and Carolyn and me at a comedy club one night. That's cool.
Gayle, you put on a great show.
Oh, thank you very much. I have fun doing it.
Very funny. It was hilarious. We had a great time.
That's right. Stephen, Carolyn, you have 4 sons, and 2 of them were there that night. Paul and Andrew. I just saw Andrew with several of their friends.
Yep.
There you guys are. Well, you guys were at the comedy club.
That's
Gayle is there you are. There you all are at the comedy club, Ha Ha Club. And Gayle is the oldest sibling?
Yeah, Gayle's the oldest. You know, she doesn't want to admit it, but she is. Yeah. And then there's Marilyn, another girl. And then there's Steve, who's a boy. And Larry, is Larry a girl or a boy? Oh, no. Another boy. I call them the Fab Four.
So
you like that nickname.
Oh, yeah. What is Larry's pronoun? So you guys so you guys were all at the show that night. I think Gayle had like 31 guests there that night.
Well, we had free tickets. We were
I didn't have to tell everybody that.
Yeah, we were guests of one of the comedians. But Nicholas, you're an actor. It shows. You do a great job on this show. In fact, my mom and my sister watched the show just to see you.
And not Gayle?
Well, yeah, her too. Gayle's a skilled stand-up comedian. And actually, the whole family's funny. You should go to one of their dinners.
Oh, aren't
You're all
you?
invited.
Where'd you guys grow up?
Well, we grew up on a cattle ranch. Our dad raised beef cattle, and he was a dairyman. You know, raised cattle and farmed and all that. But we were vegetarians most of the time.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
Where'd you live? In Fresno?
Partly in Fresno, but most of the time we grew up in the mountains north of Fresno, near Yosemite. It's a little town called Nippanawasi, it's an Indian name that means land of the deer.
Land of the deer. Gayle was mentioned that she rode her horse to school. Is that true?
That's true. It's better than the bus.
Carolyn, you were doing regular cooking demos on local television, and you really know how important promotion is, obviously.
Gayle, it's a full-time job promoting a business. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to plan and execute a menu and pay and schedule your staff.
Yeah.
Running a restaurant's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
The most important question is, what kind of food did you make in the Tree of Life restaurant?
He's always about the food.
Yeah.
My kind of guy. It was healthy comfort food. We had everything from chicken and dumplings to garden salads. We served vegans and vegetarians, but we served meat eaters too. We just kind of wanted to be like your mama's kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Gayle has told me so much about your work with the Fresno Rescue Mission, the Tree of Life restaurant, and the employment of individuals in recovery.
Yes. We were hiring people who had just gone through a recovery program, and a lot of people won't give them a chance. And so we made a business to give them jobs, and so they could have honest work and become productive members of society. We helped 52 individuals who were just coming out of recovery and in transition into normal life.
How did you get involved with Fresno Rescue Mission?
Well, we love the mission. The mission's something we've been involved in. Our whole family hasn't been involved for years. Our grandparents used to go down there and volunteer. Our parents used to go down there. Our mom played the piano or organ for their services. So we decided to get involved and help with the mission and start volunteering there.
Nicholas, I think you have some insider information, Skip.
Gayle mentioned something about your both grandparents being involved at the rescue mission. Are you guys helped with religious services when you were kids?
Oh yeah.
And you guys were helping with religious services when you were kids.
That's right. Yeah, I remember going down there and watching my dad preach a sermon, or my mom play the organ piano. I had friends who were a part of a quartet. We'd go down on a Friday night and say, let's go down and play for the service at the rescue mission and perform.
Okay. I have some insider info, and I hear that someone shot at your restaurant. Like, were they friends or employees?
Yeah, it can't be somebody who didn't like the food, because the food was terrific. We were in downtown Fresno. Yeah, we just came to work one morning and there was a bullet hole in one of the windows. So it was at night, not at us.
Okay. Do you have Do you have food lines in Fresno? And what is being done about food insecurity in Fresno and the rescue mission?
Our mayor, Jerry Dyer, was just commenting that the food lines are longer than he's ever seen them. And Fresno is actually the poorest big city in California. So we have all the same problems that you have in your city. We just have more poverty. And more food insecurity.
Well, down here at VA West Los Angeles, we still have plenty of time, so we can chat it up for a bit more about food insecurity, and I'm happy that it's timing out that way. This is really great. Nicholas and I have both been involved with handing out food or collecting food at the VA. Sometimes we might grab a box and take it to a friend who, I have a friend who has Parkinson's and he can't get out of the house or even drive. Actually, I have a quick funny story about my friend. We went on a Project Healing Waters trip to Montana, and he has Parkinson's and he's always on medication, and he fell asleep with the fly rod in his hand. But because he has Parkinson's, he's still jiggling the fly rod and he's fast asleep. Well, when he's doing that, he's jigging the bait. So the fish just latched on there. And we go, Mark, wake up. For God's sakes, wake up. You got a fish. And he wakes up and he goes, oh my gosh. So we have great fun with him. And, it's a problem. But, when you can't laugh about things and have humor and everything, life is just harder to cruise through. That's why I appreciate doing getting to have the opportunity to do comedy on the drug and alcohol ward at the VA. Those people will laugh at anything, so it's really fun. It's just like I went in there one day and I said, I'm a miracle worker. Last night I turned wine into barf, and they just howled. Then I said, you know what? When I'm in the kitchen, I finally figured out, I just drink directly out of the bottle, because I finally figured out that's what they meant by reducing it, So, I reduce it right out of the bottle. And I drink. And then I remember with you guys sitting there, and I told this joke about, for Mother's Day, I bought my mom a case of Bud. After all, I am the reason she drinks. Now, neither do I, but I got to tell these jokes. It's just fun, So I really love it when I can make somebody smile. And I also, since we've got just a little bit of time, also because Nicholas and I have discussed this, and also suicide prevention for veterans. And somebody came to me one day, honest to goodness, and said, would you like to go through, our suicide training, to not to kill myself, but suicide training to, no. So I said, okay. And they said, well, we kind of need, we're thinking we need a suicide comedian. And I mean, that just, what? Are you kidding me? There's nothing funny about suicide. How's that even possible, And I said, well, except for maybe this. Guy walks into a library and he asks the librarian, I'd like to check out a book on how to commit suicide. Well, the librarian looks him straight in the eyes and she says to him, screw you, buddy. You're never, ever going to bring that book back. So in that way, there are funny kinds of things about suicide, and not about it when people are desperate. But you know what? I just find that veteran to veteran contact. Now, Nicholas and I have discussed this a lot. I see him nodding his head right now. When we talk to our friends and buddies and support each other, there's something there that's incredibly special and very, very important that I can talk to a veteran. Now, I'm not saying I'm a psychologist or all trained that way or anything, but there's stuff that a veteran will say to a veteran that a psychologist is going to be very careful about approaching them and whatever else, And I've had occasion where I'm sitting on a curb talking to somebody and all of a sudden I'll just say, the guy's in safe parking and, and he's feeling really desperate and down and everything. And I'll say, I have a homeless boyfriend, right? And it just starts in the conversation. He's thinking about something else now. And so we talk. And then pretty soon he goes, the guy said to me, he goes, who are you? And I said, I'm a club-fed comedian, and I was sent here to happy your ass up. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And as soon as he can shift into that funny zone or just out of what he's thinking about or about his problems, and then I say, get out a piece of paper. We're going to write a list about what you're going to be doing tomorrow. Then I obligate him to a schedule and to the next day and to more about his life and how to resolve these issues and problems. And it's scary, I have to tell you. It's just scary, but, I've been doing comedy out on the streets for the homeless people. I set up my little tent, and I'm just out there, on the corner with the homeless people, and I have a PTSD special every Tuesday, It says right outside my little toilet pit, I'm sitting there in the, on a little toilet seat and I can reach down in there and grab them a candy bar or some, toothpaste and hand them some things, And I find that absolutely rewarding to do that kind of silliness,
Yeah. It's a very high calling, Gayle. Comedy, I say with great pleasure that I'm a comedian also. It's a high calling. I
yes,
see
you are.
And veteran to veteran, I also know, and I of course admire the fact that you get asked to do comedy at challenging things to as your friend, obviously knowing that you go in and do comedy at funerals with suicide prevention. These are the battle lines. These are places that not everybody can go into and give joy to someone else. So I have a lot of admiration for what you do as a comedian and who you are as a person, obviously, and veteran.
My brother Stephen and I, my dad passed away a few years ago, and I have to say that it was the joy to make the family laugh at his funeral.
Yeah.
About everything about his life, because he was a goofball. He always joked around. It was really fun to tell people the funny things that went on and to have people laughing out loud. And my brother Stephen, oh my gosh, the stories that he told. The stories my sister told, and all this, it was great. It was like people said afterwards that they really, how do I put this? They wouldn't have wanted to miss this funeral because it was actually a joy in, talking about his life and the funny stories about the family and how he treated us kids and stuff. And so, I mean, that's a wonderful thing to get to do that,
Yes, yes.
And
Yeah.
Stephen, you did a really great job that day. I always
Thank
loved hearing you. You're a good public speaker.
Thank you. I do have one question. Does your suicide prevention work come with a money back guarantee?
See what I mean? I mean, at our house, it's board games and popcorn on Saturday night. You know what I mean? It's just, and we get around and just to talk about stuff, and I think cheating is part of the game, It's just
Right.
hysterical, And my brother Larry, I mean, he's a nut. He's totally, so's Marilyn. They're all crazy birds, So we get in there and they're just waiting to see what's funny about life, and that's a really nice thing to have.
That's right.
Oh my gosh!
Did everybody ride horses to school, or was that just Gayle?
Now it's me and my sister because
That was just Gayle. But up there, sometimes we got snowed in. I remember one time our bus driver showed up in his pickup with the camper shell on the back. And he did the bus route in his pickup with chains on, and I rode in the back with a chainsaw.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm serious. There was a gas can and a chainsaw, and I was riding to school back there.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Oh, that's a crazy place up there, but what an adventure. My friend Diane and I used to ride our horses home, and we go to the Crystal Springs Ranch and just ride the horses right into the lake, and the horses just, swim across, and I'd get home from school and I'd be all muddy and everything, but it was just a great place. I think that's why I love survival stuff so much.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And in being out there with the binoculars in the nature, I was wondering if there was a correlation between
Absolutely.
that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. I'm constantly loving to go up the hillside and I like watching the bears roll in the bear clover. I mean, it's just such a special thing, it's this sticky kind of stuff that's up there in the mountains, and the bears will go roll in it to get all the bugs and stuff and off of their fur, and they go back and forth. Of course, I'm nowhere near them, but you can watch them across the way. Oh, God, I wouldn't want to get near a bear. But yeah, so I absolutely love doing stuff like that. And, I just get that, in my survival pack, I always carry powdered water. Just
powdered water?
Just powdered water. And that way, you're good. I know. There's no end to the stuff that I think I'm loud and say it and wish I had.
You said you were Army, Gayle?
Yeah, powdered water, whatever, So,
living in the mountains, you see a lot of people get injured up there because the most common thing is, I wonder what'll happen if I do this.
Oh my God. And Larry and I used to go up there in Yosemite around all the tourists and everything. They get off the buses up there and everything, and they'd be looking around. And Larry and I would say, hey, look at there. There's a climber up there on Half Dome, or there's a climber up on El Capitan. Can you see him? He's right up there. And pretty soon, the whole crowd of tourists would come over there with their binoculars, and they're all looking. And we'd always time it to see how long we got them to be obligated looking for something that wasn't even there. You know what I mean? And it was, I think our record was like 42 minutes or something. It's hysterical. And we're just sitting there going, oh man, in every language. I mean, French and Japanese and whatever. There he is right up there. And I'm going, no.
I grew up like that too, though. I grew up in the country where we had horses, we had a chicken farm. So you said, yes, I grew up like that back in Louisiana. We had chicken farms, horses every day. We had hogs too. We do it differently. We celebrate killing hogs. That's a big event where we're from. We kill a hog, everybody eats. I grew up similarly.
That sounds like fun.
Are you telling me that those snipes that you and Larry told me existed might not
We're always messing with Carolyn. Poor Carolyn. I don't know how to do this. I'm telling you, seriously. You know, no snipes.
I've been looking for those snipe for 40 years.
Let's put one out there, Stephen, and let her find it. That way she'll feel good about it. Yeah. That's right. And then you have to charge it to the IRS some way when you Oh man. Well, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and do this wrap and recap, because that's going to take a little bit, because I also wanted to mention, you know, Nicholas is going to tell us what we're going to do next week. And I think maybe I'll mention exactly what the MOVE program is a little bit, just a couple more minutes.
Nice. Well, we're going to do
Steve and Carolyn right there. We'll include them in the wrap.
Please. Well, we're going to do the wrap and recap, and we're going to figure out what our take homes are from the show this week, and we're going to include our guests. So, Carolyn, what's the take home for you?
Donuts.
There you go.
Stephen, how about you? What's the take home for you?
Stop whoring around, drinking, gambling. No, I really do like the suggestion that you do something that is satisfying and brings peace to your, the bird thing, and replacing not just sitting and doing nothing, but going out and finding something satisfying like that to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've just had a really great time thinking about all the other things now that I want to talk about with regard to food insecurity, because it's a problem for people every single day. And I want to remember that and address it, and make sure that any veterans that I know that are food insecure, housing insecure, or, just have issues in their lives, I just want them to have peace and be okay. And that's, just what's on my mind right now as we say, Louis Vuitton says it's in the bag.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Well, for me, I think my take home is, service is not exclusive to the military. It can be a family business. And, so that's my take home. That's it for this week.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, okay. That's it for this week. Please join us next week when we'll attempt to once again tell you about Weight Watchers for veterans, and that is the VA MOVE program, and PERC, which is Patient Education Research Center. And I'm going to hand it off to Gayle to tell us a little bit more.
Now, the MOVE program, of course, is Weight Watchers for veterans. And I do want to tell one, because we just have a couple minutes here. I actually went through the MOVE program, and the way you access the MOVE program is through your primary caregiver at the VA. And they will sign you up and actually give you a consult for the MOVE program. And it's several weeks. I can't remember if it's 6 or 8 week program to learn all kinds of various aspects about losing weight. So one day in one of our classes, the dietitian was standing up front, and this is an absolutely true story. And I just couldn't believe she even said this, but she did. She was talking to us about the various ways to properly store our food. And she was talking about seeds and nuts and berries and things that might go rancid. So she said to the entire veteran group, you must always smell your nuts. And seriously, a bunch of people weren't even laughing, and I'm snorting through my nose. I thought I was going to die. You must always smell your nuts. I said, you smell your own nuts. I said, go ahead and get a whiff of those. That'll get you going. Seriously, veteran, the VA staff is wonderful, but sometimes they take themselves so seriously. And I told her later on, and the woman just turned red. She was so embarrassed. She goes, I said that? And I said, yes, you did. You must always smell your nuts. There are so many ways of putting that, Jeez.
The aroma matters.
Aroma.
Well, that's what we're doing next week. We're covering the VA Move program and we're covering PERC. That's going to be Sunday, 31 January 2021. So for myself, I'm Nicholas Cormier III, and of course, Gayle Ochiltree. I want to give a very special, heartfelt thank you to Stephen Carolyn Ochiltree for being here with us. And where Voice of the Veteran is where we will continue to present the silver lining to the VA. Please join us next week for firsthand veteran experience on Voice of the Veteran. And thank you all. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching the show.